Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening on a Saturday night in the UK, uh, 18th of November 2023. And I want to thank those who are joining on TikTok and those on Facebook and those on YouTube. I'm not going to do Instagram tonight. And for those on Instagram or those see it as well, you got to come over onto the right side. Come over onto the right side. And if you want to join in on the show, if you're if you're wanting to join in on the show, what you'll have to do is to come over onto the YouTube, and I can you can get a link and you can join in, and especially for those on TikTok, for tonight, if you want to even come in and to speak, I will create the facility where you can speak as well. And the topic tonight is speaking up for the people deemed anti-government. All right, is speaking up for the people deemed anti-government. You see, what we're seeing so many times whereby when people speak up for the people or speak up on something which is maybe constructive critique, it is deemed somewhat as you are not supporting the government. But then the big question then is, who put in the government? Hmm, isn't it the people? And somewhat the people are somewhat left astray, left alone. Michelle, how are you doing? Balancing wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I need to ask you, what are you drinking tonight? All you got to do is show. I'm going to have some wine tonight, some red wine. I'm going to have some red wine, and I'm going to have some uh, water as well, some sparkling water. I tend not to drink too much wine, but that's me. I drink. What are you drinking? Please tell me what you are drinking, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important. If you don't tell me what you're drinking, then what? You're gonna be busted. So let me tell you what I'm drinking. Yep, one. It's one of the things that I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is this whole aspect of politics. But it's not just about politics. It's it's welcome to Talk and Sip tonight. Yeah, and let's talk on this topic, this particular topic that I broach. When you speak up for the government, when you speak up for the people, is it deemed anti-government? Uh, there's a fine line between speaking up for the people and being labeled as anti-government. In a world where advocating for change can often be misconstrued, um, where exploring the complexities, the challenges often can be misconstrued. We're exploring and the implication of raising your voice for the greater good. You know, in Jamaica and the UK, that's one thing. What I've found out in Jamaica and the UK, there is a similarity because it is following from the what should I say, the same sort of Westminster system. The act of speaking up for the people, of challenging the status quo, is often perceived as walking a tightrope between advocacy and being labeled as anti government. In Jamaica, a nation deeply rooted in history of resilience and activism, there exists a vibrant culture of dissent. Yet the vocal expression often dances on the edge of government criticism, raising questions about where the line between constructive criticism and anti government sentiment truly lies. Right here in the UK, a country renowned for its democratic values and freedom of speech, individuals and groups advocating for change can find themselves under scrutiny, facing the accusation of being anti establishment simply for voicing alternative perspectives. You know, even with what's happening with in the Middle East, depending on which side you're from, sometimes you get a knock on your door because you uttered something, right? And it may seem to challenge the present narrative of governments, you know. And to comprehend the complexity of speaking against government, one must delve into historical fabric of both Jamaica and the UK. In Jamaica, well, tonight I'm gonna have O'Neill is gonna come on tonight. I'm gonna have also um, Mr. Herbert, and I'm gonna have also a gentleman that I hope to come along from Sri Lanka, Mr. Muhijir, as well. Let me see who is. Let me bring in Herbert. Hey Herbert, how you doing, buddy?
Good, good. You're all right.
Yeah, man, I'm good in the Malibu. Can't really complain. As a matter of fact, I shall not complain. I will
Nobody will
never.
listen to you.
I, when I say I'll drink water, mind my own business, but actually I'm drinking wine. What are you drinking, boss?
I'm just having a hot drink.
Yes, yes. Sometimes that is very good here. Um, Michelle says she's drinking live juice. What's live juice? Michelle, you have to break it down. What is live juice, ladies
Be
and gentlemen?
specific.
Be specific. What is live juice? You know. And somebody said the purpose of government is to represent people. Leadership invites a conversation. Deborah
Correct.
Rose said, "Water here." Yeah, conversation. A mature government is able to have a conversation. You know, without advocacy, then the lies and the shadows of a community fester.
But Silburn,
Yeah,
pay attention to that word mature.
mature. Yes,
Very, very important. Mature.
yes. Where was that one there?
Yeah, mature government is able to have a conversation. Mature.
Mature
Yeah?
government to have a conversation. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm. That's a very interesting one. That is whereby one is not um what should I say, feeling challenged or
Yeah.
feeling undermined,
Yeah.
but recognizing that we're all partners in a sense, or I'm actually your servant, because you are actually the boss, the people. One thing I always say, you know. Somebody said here, without advocacy, then the lies and shadows of a community can fester. Without challenges, then there's no innovation. Conversation starts ready. Then you have followers rather than nations prepared to lead, sell for world. I think Deborah, you may need to come in on the show if you want the link. I can send you the link. And Sandra Police says, "Come, come on, come on, come on, my tea." What is it? You
Come
can
on,
pronounce it, right?
Maltese. Come on, Maltese. Look like she wants to go to sleep.
Yeah, give me my tea. Give me my tea. No, okay, okay. Give me my tea. Let's say, give me my tea. Give me my tea. Material government is able to handle uncertainty. One of the reasons why I actually brought up this particular topic. I'm not trying to see if I can turn on this music and turn it off. One of the reasons I brought this thing is because I've seen over the years, and I've discussed it, and even on this show, whereby when one sees certain things, I want to scrutinize government. Um, and if we go for a Jamaica perspective, one is either JLP or PNP.
Yeah.
If you support the government, yeah, JLP. If you support, if you don't support the government, yeah, PNP. And I always find it so very um I don't know what's the right word to say. It is so stupid. I would say that. I'm trying to be very nice. It is so very stupid in a certain way, because as far as I'm concerned, government is for the people, and the people is for the government, and government is there because they were elected by the people. You know, and I've seen some things like in the UK. We can talk about the UK, but like in Jamaica, where there's scrutiny on individuals, scrutiny on government, talking about illicit sex, talking about attorney general reports and all those sort of things. It may deem to be um, anti the establishment because you're going down a particular route. And then when I bring up the topic, the video later. But when you see certain things, you're saying, hang on a second, move away from the 63 MPs, move away from the Senate. Then what about a conversation with that young man at York Castle High School, at in Kingston or whatever, the children, the young people, what are they actually um saying to them? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. What do you say there? Sorry, that was your.
Me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry.
Um, I I think we we have created a culture called the informal culture.
Informal.
Yeah, informer.
Or informal culture, yes, yes.
Yeah. Where
Mm,
if you speak up against a certain thing or certain organization, you have breach of code,
mm,
right? And because you breach a code, then you must be penalized for it.
mm,
Hence, the operatives that or the sympathizers that support the government,
mm,
whichever administration is in power, will seek to silence you
mm,
because you're preventing a man from eating a food.
yes.
So we have to get rid of the informal culture and the eat a food mentality.
Mm. That seemed to be something which is very deep within the psyche and the culture of the
It
individual
is.
talking about. Is it something that can be eroded, or it's going to be eroded by the time certain figureheads pass away and gone? But at the same time, maybe the new figureheads which are coming in are being taught by the same brush.
Well, um, the political landscape um, does not prepare it, does not prepare itself for things like those to be eroded.
Mm,
It is an ingrained culture, right? And you have to, for you to get ahead in government or get something from an administration, you have to be able to keep silent
yes.
and turn your head the other way,
Mm,
right? For those who talk up, are being they find themselves on the wrong side, they find themselves being ostracized, being sent to a place where sun don't shine.
mm,
So those are the pitfalls that we suffer for people who wants to speak up, who speak up for a betterment of a country or a betterment of a nation,
mm.
right?
You know, I'm gonna play a very short video, but it says a lot to me when I listen to the video, and it is very interesting. The video. I'll just play it very quickly because it's a very quick video. And here we go.
The speaker, the speaker is not always right. The speaker is not always right, but the ruling is always final. Whether right or wrong, the ruling is always final.
I'll play it again.
The speaker, the speaker is not always right. The speaker is not always right, but the ruling is always final. Whether right or wrong, the ruling is always final.
What do you think about that when you see that?
You know, let, let me bring it down to a domestic situation,
Yeah.
right? Two people are married, and one salary supersedes the other.
Mm,
And that other person is telling the other one, no matter what I do, my word is law inside this house. And
mm.
if you don't like it, it is easier you move up, pack up and move out because I'm not going to change.
You mean if you don't like it, you bite it?
That's right.
Uh, that.
So, so the injustice minister is telling the people of Jamaica,
Mm,
because I cannot call it justice. That is more injustice to me.
mm.
He's telling the people of Jamaica that whatever the speaker does inside that house, they will have to live with it.
Yeah, but the speaker is but he's correct. Whatever the speaker, whatever the rule in the speaker rule, it's final. Stick up in there. Stick up in. Let me
Yes.
just bring in Mued. How are you, Mued?
Hi, hi. How are you?
Wahid.
I'm
Nice
good.
to.
I'm good.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me for this, you know,
Yes, yes.
interesting topic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for joining all the way from Sri Lanka.
yeah.
And introduce you to Herbert, my fellow Jamaican here in the UK. Um,
Hi,
when, when,
Mohi,
are,
how are you?
when are you coming to Jamaica, Muhammad?
Me?
When are you coming to Jamaica? Yes, we talk a lot about it.
You're asking me? You're asking
Yeah.
me?
Yes, when are you coming to Jamaica? You need to come to Jamaica soon.
Let's see. Most for next year.
Next
Let's
year,
see.
okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, listen,
Yeah.
the 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 topic that you've seen, and I mentioned it to you about the is speaking up for the people deemed anti-government, um, and that is all aspect of when one criticize a government, which they should be, you know, to be taken to task because they are there for a purpose. It can be seen and deemed to be anti-government or anti the establishment. What's your
Okay.
take? What's your take on that? And I play back the video and you know, yeah, yeah. Tell me what's your take on that while I'm just doing something here. Muted. Yeah.
Okay. So now on what basis you are asking this question? Because now you're saying like you must have some sort of a topic, like some sort of an incident where you have to uh, you are exploring that incident. Only you're asking this question, like about like speaking up to people, how it becomes anti. uh, I don't call that as anti-government. Basically, it's always
Mm,
treated like anti-governance. Like
mm,
so I think you have sent me a video regarding a matter related with in the Jamaican Parliament. Am I
yes.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that's a very very tricky part when it comes to uh, the accountability. The accountability when it comes to speaker, and
Mm,
there is nothing, there is no mechanism in any part of the parliamentary system
mm,
which talks about an accountability against a speaker who
mm,
comes up with a final judgment. Like if he come up with a wrong judgment,
mm,
a wrong decision made, that is the decision to follow in the system, right?
yes.
So when there is a decision is really wrong, only thing is like you can raise your voice, like especially when it comes to parliamentary system, like these lawmakers can raise their voice, but there is no mechanism to reverse that matter.
All right.
It can be only reversed. It can be only reversed either uh, you know, uh, there could be a vote against the speaker, that like
Mm.
like no motion confidence, right? Or the speaker should realize his own mistake and he should be voluntarily step down. Other
Or
than
separate.
that, there is no mechanism.
Okay. Let me just play the video back again because I played it just before you came. So let's. This is the video.
The speaker, the speaker is not always right. The speaker is not always right, but the ruling is always final. Whether right or wrong, the ruling is always final.
Okay. So what is coming from there is that the speaker decision, whether it's right or wrong, it is final. And I understand that is to be correct, but also as a lawyer, I know that when a judge make a ruling, it's final. However,
It
there's
can be
always grounds.
challenged.
There's always grounds for appeal, just like what happened in the UK of recent days, whereby the recent days before the ruling was deemed to be illegal. The government challenged it. Supreme Court came back and said the appeal is rejected.
Yeah,
You know, so therefore,
yeah,
so who challenges? Who can challenge a speaker? And I'm because I was doing some research and I realized there's a little gap there because when you move away, okay, like in Jamaica, the 63 MPs, when you move away the 650 MPs, take away the House of Lords, is it for just the 63, or is it for the people? Is it for the people to understand what is happening there at the same time? What does a young person say when they see that? Are they saying that, whosoever is in authority can say right or wrong, me had it done, that's the end of it? Herbert, and then
In in any well functioning democracy or democratic country, right? The speaker must be held to account. It doesn't matter what side of the political divide they're on or they
yeah.
represent. They must be held to account
Mm.
because they did not put themselves there. They were put there by the citizens of that country.
Mm.
So in essence, they are employed. They were employed by the citizens of the country. But
Yes.
in terms of Jamaica, the Jamaican public are employed to the government. So they have to accept what the government is doing,
Mm.
right? So what in this scenario here, as I've said before, legally, yes, she can be a speaker because maybe she's qualified, but ethically, it's wrong because of the relationship with the prime minister.
Oh, you have gone down there. You want to be that guy?
Yes, yes,
You've gone down there.
yes.
You have to explain that to Muhid because he doesn't know that from Jamaica side. Yeah.
All right, Mohid, the Speaker of the House is the wife of the Prime Minister. She was inserted in that position about 2 months ago after the
Another
previous
speaker.
Speaker was forced to resign because of some nefarious activities, right? Now, what the Justice Minister that you heard saw in the video saying that it doesn't matter what happened, the Speaker can't be challenged.
And he went further by saying you guys should stop harassing the speaker. Don't bother. It's not good. I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Uh, Okay, okay. Now, okay, let me come to my point. Now, if the speaker is saying like whether it's a right or wrong, okay, he said like, that could be the final decision means uh, that's a very serious a question is raising about the democratic system. That means like, that end of the day in a parliamentary system where the speaker has the key for anything because, if he make a wrong judgment, so that's he clearly saying that he's not accountable. So if he is not accountable means now the most important part in a democratic system where the speaker has to be he should not even though he has been he's been appointed through voting that means like through the voting of the lawmakers.
Mm.
Most of the time the speaker's been appointed by in favor of the interest of the ruling bench. So he's like most of the time he will be working for the ruling bench interest. Okay. So
Mm.
once we working for the ruling bench interest, like if he make a wrong decision, and this is a very open statement has been made in the Jamaican Parliament. They are saying like whether he makes the wrong decision or right decision, that is the final mean, and that means like the speaker is no more accountable to anyone. Now, basically, like that is a big question mark
Mm.
where it shows that there is a weakness in the system which has been not highlighted up to
Mm.
today because if the Jamaican Parliament cannot be able to challenge the speaker means like maybe like it would have been not happened in the past, but now it triggers the issue now. Okay, so if that clearly stating is there is no way of challenging the speaker means So there is something wrong in the constitutional system. You understood that. Therefore, some sort of an accountable mechanism should be in place. Otherwise, like, if today's statement will be taken so seriously, that means there is no challenge against this today's statement. I don't know when this statement has given. And I would say, like, uh, the speaker can run a country like a prime minister, whatever he wants to do it, like, because the parliament is under control of him. And
Mm.
what way you can remove the speaker? You have to remove the speaker through what do you call, uh, through a uh, what do you call that, the voting with a no confidence motion by the
Yeah.
lawmakers, or it has to be he has to be stepped down, voluntarily. Other than that, he has to be it has to be challenged in the Supreme Court. But I don't think it can be challenged in the Supreme Court. It is a very technical part. Like, there are some technical issues would arise, right? So if the speaker is not favorable to the ruling bench only, the only
Yeah.
decision can be made is the speaker. Other than that, I think, like, speaker is going to be behave like a shadow prime minister. That means, like, he's holding the position of prime minister inside the parliament, and he can
Let,
make any
yeah.
decision. There is
Let's
no
let's put,
accountability.
let's put this question to you, which Herbert flagged up, and just to let you know, the Speaker of the House in Jamaica is a wife of the Prime Minister. What's your take on that? It's not illegal. They can do it. She's a member of Parliament in her own right. But many people are saying that on the face of it, it doesn't look good. There's a saying that perception is stronger than fact. What's your take on that? Muirhead, I'm asking you that question.
You're asking me.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I'm asking you. No,
So
Herbert is here. He knows the score. Go on. You're a new kid. You're I was educating you as to Jamaica. Yeah. Are you okay?
It's frozen.
You're frozen. Yeah. I'm going to ask
uh,
until he comes back. Yeah. I'll ask a question also to persons on Instagram, TikTok, and persons on Facebook and YouTube. What's your take on the prime minister's wife being the speaker of the house? What's your take on the fact that the justice minister says she should not be arraigned? Mean to say, no matter her, whatever she say is a gospel. Mean that does it make it clear? Doesn't mean to say it's the truth, but it stands. What's your take on that? You know, Herbert. Until okay, Murad is coming back in. Yeah, Herbert, you can talk until.
Uh, there's something fundamentally wrong
Mm,
when a senior government minister is telling the Jamaican public, hands off, she's untouchable. That's basically what it is.
mm,
She's untouchable, right? And in any functioning country that had good governance, no one is above the law.
mm.
And she's open to be questioned.
Scrutinize and challenge.
Scrutinized, of course. Well, there's a right way and a wrong way how you challenge someone,
So, like you're gonna sing Keith Sweat's song. There's a
right?
right way and a way, wrong way. Oh,
Yeah. But
yeah.
you're not beyond being challenged.
Mm. Muirhead, back to you again.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
views
yeah.
on the
Now,
particular point.
as gentleman said, uh, she's now the prime minister's wife is a speaker at the Jamaican Parliament, right? Now, there is a technical, the issue is there. That means, like, the speaker is doesn't seem like accountable for even if the speaker make any wrong, a transparent wrong, right? Anybody can say that clearly wrong, but still the speaker is not accountable. But there's another thing, uh, as he said, uh, he's what do you call that she is the speaker is untouchable. Now, if you after I understood from you as the wife of the prime minister, the speaker, not
Mm.
only untouchable in the parliament, untouchable in the home also, because she is the wife at home, and also
She's the
she's
boss of the
she's
home.
she's the, yeah, and she's above the law. Not only it's already it says that she's above the law in the parliament, as well as she's obviously above the law at home also. You know,
Mhm.
so you understood that, like the speaker is a wife of the prime minister. So
Mm.
there are a lot of there are many what do you call uh, immunity he has.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
compare with whatever the statement it came from the parliament, like that's very funny. Like maybe like
Because
he's having a better guard, at home and at the parliament.
because at the end of the day, the fact and the reality is that it is deemed to be legal, and it is deemed to be right, because she was chosen by her peers and also was seconded by the government. And
Yeah,
and there are issues which are happening there in regards to the Speaker of the House. That there are civil society, civil groups who are raising some points, not particular to her, but particular to the running of government, the running of how certain um, advice, which was made from the Attorney General, and which was given to the government, and it is deemed that the speaker doesn't want to release that, and the opposition is saying release the information, and when I look at it in a way, because of course there's due diligence and there's due process, but I look at it in a way when you skim away the the people within Parliament, when you skim away all of them, it seemed like the people are left in ignorance. I mean to say they don't know what is happening. And the question is, who are they actually representing? And is civil society a part of the people? The government will say also they are part of the people as well. Everybody's going to say a part of the people. But somehow what we're seeing is that the people are left um, in ignorance while these guys are playing politics or politics. There's a difference, I would say, with the UK. With the UK, you're seeing whereby the Home Secretary was sacked. You saw the Home Secretary came out fighting and giving it back to Rishi Sunak. You see Rishi Sunak brought in David Cameron to hit back, and you see that they're under scrutiny. So therefore, the people are scrutinizing them. You see the march, the pro-Palestinian march, or one preacher, the pro-peace march. People are actually out there, actually challenging the system. You got MPs within the Labour Party define the leader and voting for ceasefire as well. So you see, people are rising up. Um, is there a difference there? I go to Herbert. Herbert, uh, sorry, you want to say something, Muhammad?
yeah, I think your question is all about your question is asking about when it comes to let me take out of this Palestinian issue where
Mm,
when it comes to the protest and the pro-Palestinian march, all these things. Let's take that matter a bit out of it, and that's happening for the last 1 month, right?
yeah.
So that's become something a part of the some hot issues. I would say it's a tug of war between Home Secretary and Rishi Sunak, okay, which is going on for some time. Like I would say something like Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, okay. Uh, so if we take out of the Palestinian matter, which is like
Yes.
only happening for the last, will we go back to on other issues where
Mm,
the Suella was raising? I personally believe she's speaking up for what the mindset of the British people having. Only she is she is uh, vomiting through her statement. You know,
Mm,
if that cannot be seen in practical, like in reality. Like people might think, okay, she is a very nasty woman, and I this is how I'm seeing it. Like she gets some. She's a very tough cookie, but I would say she is not tough cookie. Basically, she is the one. She is like the people. There are majority of the people are there who are silent on many issues. They are only waiting for election, and when the election comes, they comes and vote it. Now, if you see from this opinion poll, okay, like for example, say the issue of immigration, right?
yes.
In an opinion poll, like why politicians raising why politicians are really concerned about the immigration issue. Not only Labour Party or Conservative Party. Everybody talks about immigration. Why? They because they know that it is the public who really, because through the polls they find out that is the public not happy about what's really going on, and they just wanted to make sure that there should be a control in the system. That is their right to their right to express their views, but basically they don't expressing it. It comes through the opinion polls, right?
Yes.
But these people never come to the street. They never come to the street. They
Yes.
give their opinion poll, and they come to the polling booth and they vote for that. That
You, you, yeah.
that reality is known by the politicians, right? By
Yeah.
knowing that only, yeah,
No, you're
yes, please.
right. You're right. And Herbert, we have said it before, whereby, and I'm going to read a bit of the Home Secretary's speech, where she said, a part of her letter, I may not have always found the right words, but I've always striven to give voice to the quiet majority, just like what you said, that supported us in 2019. I have endeavored to be honest and true to the people who put us in these privileged positions. So, what Suella Braverman is saying right there is the same point about speaking up for the people, but that quiet majority, you said it a while ago, these are persons that do not listen to polls, they do not actually give opinions, they do not go out on march. But what they do on the day of elections, Herbert, they go in their tractors, they put on their boots or whatever like that. And when it's raining or not, they are the ones that will turn up and they will vote in the poll. Hence the reason why Ed Miliband, who thought he got it in the pocket, lost. That's the same reason why Jeremy Corbyn thought he had it in the pocket and he lost. And that's why Keir Starmer is being he's been a bit very cautious because he has seen history can repeat itself three times.
And Nick Clegg,
And Nick Clegg as well. You know?
he was looks like a very hopeful, like based on how the public perception. But the silent
Mm,
voters, they already they already have their own decisions, and that's
mm,
what I'm telling you is like they only having they sometimes, like most of the time they express their views through the polling, that means the opinion polls. Other than that, they come to the polling booth and they will say they will have they have their say about
mm.
any important decision. This is
Yeah,
known by the politicians. But
yes.
here as well about one is like what she is telling is. Now I'll tell you. I think I will explain to you a very bit one. If
Mm,
you see immigration, okay, that is the topic is going on for the last 20 years. I would say like since 2005 it becomes a important topic in the British politics, right?
yes.
Everybody is coming with their own promises that how they will going to manage the situation, where they have to balance it either side. But at the same time, like still this is going on. Like when it's come to a person who lived in England for long years, okay, maybe like he born and bred, or who inherited to parents who have been migrated or whatever it is. Those people are, when they are coming into the when they come into their life of responsibility, that means they have children and they have family.
Mm,
That time the person who is having own their children and family, that time he want to have his own house. So
mm,
when he goes to the the council to get a house, there are situations where he has to wait in the queue. There are some people who comes from, in a recent days, they
Yes.
also have their right to get it, but that is in legal side, the government is right. Those people have the priority. The people who comes from the outside world, who are an asylum seekers, like, who have problem in their own countries, they have a right to have a house for themselves. So the government is doing the right thing. But the emotional feeling of an individual who is British, his mindset would not accept that, the legal part. His mindset would not accept that empathy part. He is like, he's become more selfish. That is a normal human nature, right?
Yeah.
So he's getting more angry about that decision, right? But at the
So
same time, you see,
what you're saying is that the majority or the silent majority is not happy with the ruling of the Supreme Court and the way it is going now. What you're saying is that the Rwanda policy need to follow through.
I yes, I personally, because why do you really think, do you think politicians having an important business,
Mm,
okay, about migration? What is the benefit politician will have it? Politicians' decision always based on their voting base,
mm,
right? If, in order, it's like survival of the fittest. If they wanted to survive, they had to fit into that, expectation of the environment. That means the public aspiration,
yeah,
right? That won't come straight away, like, open, because they will get it through their analysis, through their research, through their advisors, and pollings. They know that these are the special topics, and they
yeah.
stick to that one.
All right,
You
stick a
know,
pin,
you
stick
can't.
a, yeah,
Yes.
stick a pin right there. I'm gonna bring in Herbert. Herbert, we left Jamaica a second ago. We're in the UK talking about the people because speaking up for the people is coming in different forms because you got the people who are also quiet. And as Muriel is talking about, there's a sector of the UK populace who wants also to be heard and for politicians to speak up for them. What's your take on that?
I think the UK is one such country where, um, with the absence of a written constitution,
Mm,
it has given people the opportunity to speak. Never in the history of a free country you see so many prime ministers in 1 year or in 1 month,
yeah.
right? That speaks volume.
Yes.
However, there are those who think that certain positions are created for certain people,
Mm,
and those people should be left in that position to stay as
yeah.
long as they want to stay,
Mm,
irrespective of their performance,
yeah.
right? And one such person was Boris Johnson,
Yeah.
who from he was
Secretary
foreign secretary.
or mayor. Yeah. Mm,
His track record was less than admirable, but he was allowed to become prime minister.
was that
Based,
because of the people? Was that because of the people?
um, it no, it was based on his promise that he made to the public, to the British public.
But didn't he
They
deliver?
feel
Didn't
comforted.
he? Didn't he deliver?
No, because we're still suffering from it. We're
Murad.
still suffering from it.
Yeah. Okay. I want to bring in Murad on that point. Let's stick that. Let's hold on to that point there. I know we just jumped on Boris bit. Murad, did Boris deliver?
Yeah, I think, Boris was delivering. Boris was delivering, but that's, as I said, like,
He went off course.
uh,
Yeah.
my, yeah, I'll come to one point I failed to explain in my past explanation, where the one side of the part, when it comes to Kuala Berman, he was expressing the aspiration of the silent majority. At the
Yes.
same time, the free Britain is in a mess when it comes to immigration, where even the Home Office is not doing that's supposed to do that, how that's supposed to work, right?
Yes.
The very important part is like, now the silent majority is depressed with this immigration, uncontrollable immigration system,
Mm.
where, but the same, but there is a huge demand. There's a huge demand also for the migrants in UK. There is no question at all. There are a lot of job opportunities after this EU, the Brexit part. There is no issue at all. But there is no proper mechanism. There is no proper system. So one side, the silent majority is depressed. The other side, people who come with a hope, who has been arrived in England, right, are also suffering because of there is no proper mechanism is in place where they are staying in like tiny rooms with two or three children together, right, in a small room in a hotel, or there are different places they have been arranged at. Okay, maybe like you can stay for a 1 day, 2 days, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, okay, maximum. What is the point of you're coming to a country with a hope? You had all the problems in your own country, and you are coming to a land where the land is already given, through the Geneva Convention. It has been, it has given the promise to the global world that we will look after this. But what they look after, for months, they're staying in a tiny room, and they've been controlled. It's like a prison for them. Like, they're only giving the food on time, right? That issues, is there with the migrants. So this has to be addressed, but this is also not addressed. So basically, it's a mess. They are not addressing the issue of the aspiration of the silent majority, and they are not doing to the people who are, migrants who come with hope. These two things are there. If the media, or if somebody goes and gets some interviews from these migrants, they will tell how they are suffering. Like, there are people who are still in the hotel rooms for 1, 2 years.
Yeah,
But when, okay,
but at
sorry,
the same
yeah.
time, if a majority is silent and they're not speaking, who are they speaking to? Herbert, who is the silent people speaking to? If they are silent,
Probably
or
making some secret deals on the golf course.
they're not speaking. Her Muhammad.
No, no, no. They're not speaking. So they're not speaking that you and I can hear,
Yeah,
but they're meeting
with the
the
powers that
powers,
be.
the powers that be in the golf course at some fancy pub, making some shady deals that they themselves, only them can benefit from it,
Mm.
right? For example, the straw that brought the camel's back was the meeting with Boris, a distant cousin of his, and a friend of the distant cousin,
Mm.
where he got a £800 million personal loan,
Mm.
right? He then appointed that person, I think, to chair some organization. I think it was the BBC.
Yeah. Oh, that was a BBC guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm.
So the silent majority, you don't you don't need to be you don't need to be silent. If something is hurting you, it is hurting us as well.
Yes.
So don't go behind a door to make a deal to make yourself comfortable while others are feeling the pinch of the discomfort.
You see what Michelle said a while ago when the former home secretary, used the word um I have endeavored to be honest and true to the people who put us in these privileged position. Privileged position. The person means a position to serve, not has to be privileged. To serve as a politician or as an MP or as a senator or more as a MP elected by the people. Mued, would you call this a privileged position? And a politician has to own up to those who brought them into office.
I don't think that has to be taken like a privileged question. basically
That's
it
what
is
Suela said. That's what Suela said. Yeah.
yeah, I think maybe like she I don't know on what basis she is talking about that about this privileged position, but I believe I believe it is a moral responsibility, it's a moral duty. If you becoming a lawmaker, basically you don't serve for the people who you vote for. You have to serve the people, based on the principle, that policies. Now you go and tell the public. You don't tell the public basically you tell the public about your policy. You are telling like how you're going to resolve this problem. You are telling that how you're going to enhance this issue. Like you come up with your own policy where the people will decide. There are two groups are there. One will say no, we don't agree with that. One says like we agree with that. So the
Yeah.
people who agreed mean that doesn't mean that you are that doesn't mean you are accountable to those people, agreed people who elected, right? It's a democratic system is all about you are only getting some sort of a green light to implement your principles, your policies, right? So I don't, I don't think that you can call that as a privilege. I don't understand because basically I really don't understand why she is saying that, But if she said about there are certain matters like she talks about, I speak up for the people, right?
Mm.
That means you speak up for the people means you don't say that okay but there's another problem also. Politicians should not speak up from the time when they got elected, the
Yeah.
issues. Politicians' responsibilities, like maybe 2019 is different than
Yeah.
2023. So I
Mm.
can't just say that like 2019 there was a problem. Okay, you only thing is the
Yes.
problem you came up 2019. If it is not resolved, you can talk about that. Yes, I have not. I'm still working on it to resolve this problem. I'm working for the people, right? The second thing is there are new problems arising in 2023. That is also your responsibility. That is also your responsibility to look after. But I feel it like uh, you know, as a politician, she has to balance it, the either side. Uh, Maybe like um, the Palestinian uh, the march, okay,
Yes.
is exaggerated the situation where there was a tug. There is not, as I told you, that is just a 1 month back issue. But I would say, since the Rishi Sunak comes to power, I believe there's a cold war between Suella and Sunak. I feel it like Sunak was not appointing Suella based on the loyalty, right? I think he's appointing her to reduce the threat where he may come across in the future. So he just wanted to, it's something, I don't know whether there should be a deal between both of them.
Well, well, she,
Anyhow, uh, yeah,
well, 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 she said that there was a letter, and that is the other concern. If there's a letter which has been done between Suella and Rishi Sunak, is that something which is binding, that binds the people of the UK, which is a deal because she said, "I gave you my word and trust." Um, let's jump back over into Jamaica. We're jumping over into different places. We're seeing this is what it is coming out. We're talking about the voice of the people. Are the voices of the people coming through? In the UK, we are seeing the voices of the people coming through. They're coming through the silent majority, where the politicians are honoring them. Herbert, you said they speak on the golf course. Suella Braverman said, who is still an MP, we were put in a privileged position. That's the term which was used for these persons. Are people in Jamaica being honored and listened to, and the government is operating on their behalf, or the government is just on a track?
The government is on a track
Mm,
to fulfill their ambitions, not the ambitions of the people.
mm,
Yes? If the ambitions of the people were being met, the socio-economic factor in Jamaica would have been on the forefront of
mm,
government's planning.
Yes.
The crime situation in Jamaica would have been on the forefront of government's planning. None of that is being addressed.
Mm.
Jamaica has become an apologetic society
Mm.
where things happen and they're looking into it to prevent it from happening. And it is said tonight and tomorrow in a different parish, in a
Mm.
different city, something happened again. And it's being looked into. And in some cases, you never hear of it.
Mm.
So, where are the needs of the Jamaican people? You only those issues are only dealt with around election time, and after election time is back is business as normal.
Which is not, which what you're alluding to is not for or not in the interest of the people.
Not in the interest of the people.
But at the same time, the government could say that it's okay for you to say that, but we're actually having our secret meeting as well on the golf course on the interest of the people.
Well, the
and
people are
that,
not being
and that could be a silent majority, isn't it?
this no the silent minority
Silent minority, but it is still the
because
people.
because when the majority decide to take it to the streets and block the roads,
Mm.
you'll see representatives of the member of parliament in that particular area
Mm.
go and meet with the people to make them promises if they clear the road or if they stop doing what they're doing. But after all that is done, it is business as usual. Those people go into hiding. You won't see them again until local government or general election time.
You see, Herbert and Julian, Muirhead, when a government is elected and they're elected to, oversee the running of a country and to develop the country, it is deemed for them that it is their job and it's their mandate. They got the mandate from the people from their. Uh, Unfortunately for Jamaica, it was a 31% of the electoral register that turned out to vote. You know, of the 1.9 million people who were supposed to vote, only 31% came out, Muirhead. And for the reigning
Okay.
government, it was 403,000 that came out, and for the other one was, I think, was 300 and something, give and take, maybe, you know. So really and truly, you're gonna ask yourself the question: do they have a
It's like a
mandate?
local.
Huh?
It's like a local council election results in election voting numbers. Like the people
Mm,
who used to come and vote local election in UK, the Barrow election, basically like
yes.
2030. But it's unbelievable to see because people lost the faith. People lost the faith in
That's
politics
what it is.
in
Mm,
Jamaica. That's
That's
very
what it
clear for me.
is.
mm,
If you see 31 percentage, just 31 percentage who came and voted, 69 percentage, there should be reason. Either like only 69, more than 50 percentage of the Jamaican voters who registered voters are not in their own country or they are living in different places. Then there is an excuse. But if the people are there, they're registered, but on the polling day, they are not ready to go to the polling booth. Means what they are thinking
mm,
is, it doesn't matter about the left and right. The both are the same. Both are seated in the same bunch. So there is no. It's a waste of time for me to go
mm,
and making a choice. It's like you're choosing with the demon and a beast. So that's
mm,
how they are seeing it. So the voters are very smart. If you compare with like that's what I said. One thing is like if you see the situation where I would say the Jamaican voters are far better than the British voters, very
mm.
smarter than British voters. If you see in the recent past for the last 30 to 40 to 50 years of politics,
Yeah.
at least for the last 3 decades of politics, not in Jamaica, any part of the world, politics means is the most corrupted business in the world. That is the
Mm,
politics. That knows the people. If anyone asks, "Are you a politician?" Oh, that's the way people give their, their sign, when their reaction to the politics, right? If anybody says I'm a politician, so but only thing is, till they go to the polling, you get 65 to 70% of the people who go and vote. But
Yeah.
when 31% you go and vote means, I would say the Jamaican voters are very smart compared to many part of the world, because people only the smartest people who never go and vote in this corrupt political world.
But then the government will say the people have spoken because they have given us
The mandate.
the mandate to govern them for another 5 years. When in truth and in fact, if the majority of the the people that were that are qualified to vote, if they had gone to vote, they would not have been nowhere near the parliament.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
but because of this preconceived idea that them done they're going to win anyway. It doesn't matter what we do. It's saying in essence you're saying that the voting is the voting system needs to be examined
Mm.
because it if 31% vote or 55% vote, it is still going to be in favor of the ruling party.
Is that what it is looking like?
That's what it's looking like.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's you're talking over the democracy, right? That is like, it doesn't matter how many people comes and vote. It matters like, even a one man come and vote, the government will be elected. They are saying we are democratically elected. Okay,
Yeah.
but that shows the status of the country. That shows that people lost the faith in politics. The
Of course.
politician lost their trust. So the politician responsibility to build their trust back again. But that this is not a good answer from a politician where he says like, oh no, it doesn't matter. 100 people are there. The one person said that I'm the right person to rule this country. But that's
Yeah.
like, that's good for the democracy. But it's like a joke for a leader who comes and lead the country. What I can tell you is, if the Jamaican people are going to get through the election commissioner, if they would have been started in a special part in the ballot paper, which is called none of the above, means I think none of the above will win. You know what I mean? That
Mm.
if the people will getting an opportunity where you can vote for your candidate, or you can vote like whoever the candidate is there, you have an option where called all these candidates are not your choice. That means like 69% of people in that country
Mm.
will say there's no politician there for them to vote. So that leads more than that they got 31% people who went and vote. But
Someone said,
the
yeah.
serious the serious issue is 31% people went to the polling booth is the question mark.
Yeah.
Now, from that 31% only, you decide, who is going to win. That is the credibility issue of the politicians now. It's not about the ruling party. It's all about the politicians. They lost the credibility because from that 31 only, they will decide. Say four political parties are contesting, and one is getting about say 15% means, so almost like 85% of the public mandate are not with them, just the 15%. So
Mm.
that is a very serious question about that. They have to build the trust back again. So it is a responsibility as a collective of the politicians in Jamaica. They have to start building the trust back again. They have to ask the voters why you are not coming and voting, why you're not franchising your democratic rights. They have to bring it back. Otherwise,
You,
like it may go down even 20.
I hear what you're saying, and I believe that sometimes, and the view is by others as well, that politicians, in a way, hope that people are apathic towards voting, and that they're not interested to vote because it somewhat secures them for a lifetime, isn't it, Herbert?
Yes, it
It secure them
does.
it secure them in their position whereby So they'll bring in their families, their wife, and their children. All of a sudden, you realize that hang on a second, this is a this is a family affair.
Yes.
And
And
there's a lady in the UK. Her name is Natalie Campbell. She's planning to run for the mayor of
give
London.
me a second, please. I'll
You
be
know,
back.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, she's planning to run for the mayor of London, Mirad. And I'm gonna play a quick video of her. And I think it is very important that people actually recognize. Actually, if I can find it, it's very important that people recognize that they need to make a difference. Okay, I'm gonna play it here. Hi, I'm Natalie Campbell, and I'm running to be your next mayor of London. I'm not doing this as a gimmick. I'm doing this because I love London, and I believe that we deserve much better leadership to make London feel like home again. There are two things that you need to know about the election. The first one is that the mayoral election takes place on the 2nd of May next year. It feels like a long time away, but it's not if we are going to change things for the better. The second thing that you need to know is that the two main parties will tell you that only two candidates can win: the Conservative candidate or the Labour candidate. That is an absolute lie. Under first past the post, one of the systems I'll be talking about in future videos, if 1.5 million people show up to vote for me, I will win. It's as simple as that. 58. Okay, the reason why I flagged that up, Muirhead, is the fact that people can still get involved whether the stocks are against them. They got to have a passion and a desire to make a change. And she's very ambitious. Um, Nothing is impossible, highly unlikely, because Sadiq Khan is a big beast, and Susan Hall is coming up as well. You know, but when you see a person like that standing up, I don't know what her backers are, and wanting to make a difference, I think it's an encouragement for people to get involved in politics. Even in Jamaica, you got a lot of third parties, fourth parties. I hope that they work together in a way to make a big difference. What's your take on Natalie Campbell running for? I wanted to run for the mayor of London and fed up with politics, but
Uh,
actually in the politics now.
yeah. I think, you should understand the politics is all about uh, whatever we talk about policies, the manifestos, and, we can come up with a lot of great plans and to
Mm,
tell the people. Yeah, people also will say, wow, this is a good guy. He's a nice guy. Coming with wonderful ideas. I think
yeah,
I should vote for him. So when they coming for that particular idea, it should comes into practice. That the practice means the
mm,
voters should go to the polling booth and they had to cast their vote for that particular what do you call candidate, right?
yeah,
But that won't happen just because of you are giving you are giving a fantastic speech, you're giving coming with a fantastic ideas through the campaign, through social media, whatever it is, whatever the campaign,
mm,
that you need the grassroots soldiers in politics. You need the polling day. You need to win the polling day. That is the most important. More than winning the election, you have to win the polling day. The polling day is all about battle between the grassroots soldiers of different political parties,
yeah,
right? So, even Ken Livingston, he has his own because he was a politician. He was a career politician, right? You
yeah,
can't bring somebody like suddenly and within few months of politics, like and they can give a lot of good campaign slogans, but when it's come to this, when you don't have the grassroots soldiers, that means
mm,
like the grassroots activists, uh, you will fail on the polling day where the people should go and vote. Now, in London May elections, you know that only
yeah,
25 percentage or 30 percentage people only vote. I think
yeah,
30 something, 32, 33. But Boris Johnson was winning in 2008. It was like what the Linton Crosby. He was the strategic
yeah,
the
Yeah.
Australian guy,
Australian guy.
and
Yeah.
I was working. Yes, I was working with him during that campaign. Linton said very simple. He said is like during the general election, the Greater London areas, there are most of the people are conservative voters, upper class and middle class who vote for conservative, but they
Yeah.
don't come and vote during the during this local election or mayor election. They only come on general election. What he said is, instead of we are targeting the inner London, where the majority of the Labour voters, we will go and campaign more into this greater London to make sure that these voters to come to the polling booth. When say come to the polling booth, they will vote for Tory. So the same thing, the voting percentage was that means the casting of voting percentage from 34, I think 30 odd to 40, above 40. It was
Mm,
increased for the first time in the London May election, and Boris Johnson won.
yeah.
So I would say, like that clearly tells that is you have to have some sort of mechanism. Okay,
Some
still
strategy.
you
Yes.
must have some sort of grassroots, plan. Other than that, it's like Nick Clegg, the people who come up with popular in the TV,
Mm,
but when it comes to polling booth, they are not succeeding what the expectation were there in the campaign.
yeah. Herbert, I just had played the young lady there and talking about people need to still get involved and get active regarding politics, whether or not there's a level of apathy, whether a level of not interested or feeling disenchanted or feeling distance. If they don't do that, then dog them supper because Muirhead in Jamaica, there's a quest now for Jamaica to become a republic to remove the king as the head of state. But based on what is happening now, you're not seeing a massive educational push towards that. And if it continues on the rate as it is, and if it goes to the polls, you might get even less than the 31% that came out for the general election, you know, because people are talking about their food, the money in their pocket, the crime, and that is not something like a felt need, and it's pushing people again where they're feeling disenchanted. And with the video which I posted earlier with the Minister of Justice with Delroy Chuck, one of the points that someone flagged up was it is good that he said that the speaker, whether she's right or wrong, her ruling is final. But if a person who doesn't understand properly, they'll read it and say, "What?" I mean to say whether she's right or wrong. That's the end of it. What it should have gone further was to say, and if she's wrong, what were the mechanisms? What is in the standing order to correct it and sort of give a little balance? But there's a level of, I'll play it again. There's a level of
No,
anger. Huh?
Silver.
Yeah. Go on.
What he said, yes.
Yeah.
If it is done, that's it. And if it wasn't done, that is still it.
Mm.
So you have no choice
But take it, eat it.
but take it and be happy with it,
Uh,
right? That is forcing freedom down someone's throat.
mm.
And you cannot force your type of freedom onto someone without them having an argument, a constructive argument, because they're not going to accept it,
Yeah.
right? Remember, in the 90s, there was a particular prime minister named Siaga,
Mm.
and that was how he was trying to govern.
Mm.
Remember, you had the Gang of Five, yes?
Mm.
And when they decided to break away, what did he do?
Kick them out. No, what is it?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, he absolved them of all their responsibilities
Mm.
and then forced him to apologize to come back.
Mm.
Now we come back. We come to the days to the era of Donald Trump. So where do we go? Where nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Mm. Yes. But Michelle is saying it's like saying even if I'm wrong, since I'm the Speaker of the House, It's final. It doesn't come across really well, and I want it to resonate
The speaker, the speaker is not always right. The speaker is not always right, but the ruling is always final. Whether right or wrong, the ruling is always final.
Remember, the ruling is final. It is not right, but
Yeah.
it is final.
Yeah. When I listen to that there, and I listen to the minister, it's like people say, it's mirrored. It's like say, I can't bother with this. These guys, it's like they're in a cocoon by themselves, whereby this is their show, and this is within the 63 MPs. My thing is that when you move away the screen of the parliament, it's like in law, when you want to see behind a company, you move the corporate veil to see who are the persons behind it. So they don't hide behind it, so you lift the corporate veil. When you move away these MPs, the 63, you move away these Senate, then you're going to see the people. Shouldn't the people actually be acknowledged, and the people saying that student who is watching should be able to say, that doesn't sound right. How can I know better? Shouldn't the students know what is the Attorney General ruling? Is it just only for the gangs or the 63? It is like we know what is best. Go on the yard.
No, it is one document
Mm,
that they're allowing cobweb to grow upon.
mm,
That one document there.
mm,
And anytime the Attorney General speaks,
mm.
they would like very much to silence him by calling for his resignation.
Is it a lady? No, no. Is it?
No,
Is
it's
that?
Christie,
He's not the Attorney General. He's the
the
contract.
Contractor General,
Yeah. Mm,
Greg Christie,
mm, mm.
right? He's someone who does not believe in keeping water in his mouth
Yeah.
because he's going to talk.
Yes.
And when he speaks, people will hear
Mm.
because he has no allegiance to either political parties
Or axe to grind.
or axe to grind. He has none.
Yeah.
His concern is that the Jamaican people are getting value for money. And right now, they're not getting that.
Yes. And before I let go, Murid, what's your final say in regards to speaking up for the people? And it is, I think we're living in a world now whereby there's a question that someone said to me when I was having a discussion, and I drafted a question, and it says, "What is the role of politicians today?" That may be a next topic. What is the role? It's like things have evolved. The level of role of politicians these days, Murad, seem not to be convicted and passionate for the people. They're more convicted and passionate for their base, for the people around them, their gangs, but not for that man in the street who they went for and said, vote for me, I'll do this, vote for me. After that, go about to the business. That's using the marriage there. Murad, I said before we go on to the next step, I'll let you go. What's your last say on this, sir?
Yeah, well, politicians are comes to politics. That means that they appointed as a lawmaker
Yes.
with the blessings of the voter, that is the people. So the
Yes.
promise is about not only the promise, that is the moral duty, that the promise is about speak up for the people, and the moral duty is like you must speak for the people. But very unfortunately, they will come with the blessings of the people, and they will have to survive the political journey with the blessings of their gang, who is surrounding them directly and indirectly, businesses, different group of gangs who are
Yes.
interested. I would say, like, when you talk about corruption, uh, do you really think that is there any country in the world it is non-corrupt? I would
Mm.
say no. It
Mm.
is corruption is everywhere. I don't
Yes.
think that if there is no corruption, then if there is no politics is there. That's all.
Mm.
If there is no politics, there is no corruption. So the politics is everywhere, the corruption is everywhere. But only thing is, it works in a two different, two different way. It's like, as I said, I always like to use the survival of the fittest. Like, in some part of the world, the corruption works like, uh, you know, like a butcher in the beef stall, right? And in some part of the world, it openly you can see the corruption,
Yes.
right? And some part of the world, the corruption is something like surgeon in a surgical theater, right?
Mm.
Where the both them is cutting the flesh. They both cut the flesh, that is the public money, and in two different ways. One is you can see them, other one is you can see them, but both are cutting. So that's
Yeah.
how the politics is working everywhere. So basically, the politicians' responsibility is to speak up for people, but very unfortunately, they come with a slogan of "I'm coming to speak up for the people." That is the only slogan where you can be able to get an opportunity to get into the parliament,
Mm.
right? If you going to tell that, okay, I will go to work with my business people and all, you will never go to come to this thing, because you have to give the a promised hope to the people, and the people elect you. Once you reach there, then you speak up for your own gang. That's all. That's
Mm.
how it works. But the one thing is, I know that is the ignorance of the public. Now, because this, for example, I'm telling you, it is the ignorance of the public in Jamaica that made this situation where only 31 percentage comes and excise the franchise their vote. 69 percentage of the people who never come to the polling booth, because
Mm.
those are the people who created the misery where they have not taken. When the politics is become more corrupt and more ugly, the time
Mm.
you have to hold it tightly. This is happening in England, but this is
Yeah.
not happening in other part of the world. That
Yes.
issue is now. I have another one question from you. Now, you said about regarding this Republican and that means Jamaica is moving away
Yes.
from head of uh, Elizabeth, right? That is the British the kingdom.
Yes.
Uh, uh, how they going to go? They have to go with the referendum, right? Am I correct? There should be a
Yeah.
referendum.
Yeah. If they have to go with the referendum. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it should
Whenever
be.
that happens.
Even
Yes.
though even though it's a two-thirds of the parliament, I think if anyone challenges, basically the Supreme Court will have to make the decision where the public the final say, because they don't come to parliament by promising this issue. That is
Yeah.
like, we will going to go away from this one, right? That this is a very separate topic. They have to use the referendum.
Yes.
So in the referendum, is all about the question is, would you like to continue or you want to leave? So
Mm.
like the Brexit, you know. So how do you feel? In my personal view is like, now elections, in a parliamentary election, I would
Yeah.
say uh, a certain majority of the voters. Now you are saying 69 percentage people you never come and vote. In this
Mm.
31 percentage of the people who voted, I would say at least 10 percentage of the voters would have come with the force of the parliamentary. Force means like, they are through their grassroots support, they are forcing the voters to come. You understood that?
Yes.
Like, giving some freebies and things like that, and they tried because they wanted to win the election.
Yes.
They are bribing the voters. They bring them. So
Yeah.
basically, genuinely only 20 percentage would have been genuinely coming and vote. That means they feel like they have a democratic responsibility. They come to the polling booth
Yes.
and they vote, right?
The other
But when
thing is
it comes to
Mubin.
referendum,
Yeah.
yes, when,
Yeah. Go on.
when
I
it
want to wrap.
when
Yeah.
it comes to referendum, I really don't think the politician will take very keen interest in the campaign, in the what do you call the campaign field, where it is not their election. You understood that? not their personal election. So there is a possibility the referendum will end up with just 20% people who come and vote. If that situation, do you think that it is very ethical to accept that result?
Yeah. Okay.
80% are not franchising.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Robert, say a bit before I wrap up on this section
I
here.
think
Mm.
Jamaicans, when it comes to election and voting, they vote with their heart, not with their head.
And what they can see and clocks.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And because of that, they're the same ones who 5 months after an election complain that they're not being served,
Yeah.
right? I think Jamaica is one of the few countries where a man or woman from nowhere can overnight become a political sensation
Yeah.
and acquire and become to acquire all these nice things due to their involvement in politics.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Well, guys. I want to wrap up on thanks for that, and Mira, want to thank you for your input here, and as we close off this section and tap into another one, I just want to wrap up on this point here, which is a very crucial point, and that you know whether we're speaking up for the people, as we say, is deemed anti-government. It is clear that the narrative surrounding this topic is very multifaceted, and what we have uncovered in a way is a crucial distinction between dissenting against government and advocating for a more accountable, compassionate, and responsive government. It's vital to recognize that the speaking up for the people isn't inherently in opposition to the government itself. You know, um, it's an exercise in safeguarding the principles of democracy. And we have seen the video which was posted today early, and that says a lot. It talks about accountability, it talks about transparency, and it talks about the people. And in our exploration, we have seen throughout history pivotal changes and societal progress that emerge from voices challenging norms. Movements for civil rights, equality, and justice often clashed with established cultures and structures, not out of a desire to dismantle governance, but to demand its betterment. The misconception of being labeled anti-government often clouds the true intent of these efforts to strengthen the social fabric, elevate marginalized voice, and foster a more inclusive society. Yeah. So let's redefine this narrative. Understand that speaking up for the people is not an act of defiance against the system. It's a fundamental aspect of preserving and enhancing the very essence of democracy. It's a call to ensure that the government, not just by the people, but for the people, embodying their aspiration, concerns, and hopes for a brighter future. And I think that is something that government need to recognize as well, that it is not about fighting them, it's about strengthening them at the same time. That is if they are, as someone said earlier, that is if they are mature, Herbert, as if
Yeah,
they are mature to accept that, you know, if they are mature. And as Michelle said, Jamaicans vote for party and colors, not country.
that's correct.
In Sri Lanka, what is it like? Do they vote for part? Do they what? Do they vote for colors? Do you have a color thing for different parties? They,
They vote for colors.
they vote for colors as well.
They vote for colors. They vote for colors, and they vote for party. You know, and sometimes I would say even you resemble a name. You resemble a name similar to somebody like very popular. They vote for that also. You understood that,
So do they vote for
So
Clark's?
that's
Do they vote for Clark's shoes that they get from England?
No,
Clark's booty.
no silver.
Muriel, listen, I want to thank you for coming, and
yes, okay, no problem.
have a good
I'm
one.
leaving.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
And
Have a
Nice
good
to
one.
meet you,
have a good
Marie.
day, guys.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Muriel.
You take care.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Okay, good, good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for Muriel. Thank you for those joining on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And I want to welcome Leighton. How are you, sir? For the
I'm
second lap.
good. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm good. Thank you. Brilliant show. Thank you for
What
having
what
me here.
what's your take? You can give the verdict now. What's your take? Is speaking up for the people deemed anti-government? What's your take on what's your summing up of the discussion if you're listening?
My take on this, well, this discussion cannot be summed up in just a few hours, Silburn, but
Yes.
it will take more conversation. But you have definitely trying to support um, those who are standing up for change.
Mhm. Yes.
And that is basically what you are reading because it's not seen as anti-government. You are standing up for against the government. It
Yes.
doesn't. You are actually giving the government. If they're in support of the people, they should listen to the people, whatever where they're up there, say, because this is the only way forward to get things going. And as you said, if governments are not mature or growing up in the sense that they are listening, the thing is to be of a standard, you must be able to hear the cry of the people. And if you are not hearing the cry of the people, you probably would not deserve to be in that position which you have which have that it's going of a more selfish approach, having their own mandate, which is personal mandate versus a mandate for the country, which is
Yes.
for the people. So that is not anti-government, I think.
Well, thank you for that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Leighton Legis here, and one of the things I said I want to do, and at the end of each shows, is to bring in a business, a company, a singer, a poet, and Leighton is a poet. He's gonna do a rap for us. He's gonna do a rap for us, isn't it?
No, I'm not here to rap for you. No, I'm not here to rap. I'm here to entertain.
He's not here to rap for us.
No,
Just
you are
uh,
the rapper, you're the DJ, you are the improv. That's what you used to
um,
do.
yeah, no, Leighton is not a rapper. It's here to promote this very important product here, which is a Christmas cultural market. It's for his business, Lake Colors. Tell us about your business, Leighton.
Well, my business is a family-run business. We are here to promote the natural way of you business. People have usually used lots of harmful products into the health of chemicals, and we've do a lifestyle change in our own self, and then from that we're able to start this business because of the changes we've made in our household in terms of what we take in. We do so we want to make sure that everyone will go towards a more natural way of looking after their holistic self. So this is why we have started this company. We have our deodorant, which was our first product because we couldn't source one, so we decided to make it, and hence, we definitely because that is one of the areas it's preventing from getting cancers in the breast. It's in that sensitive area, and people overlook certain things. So this is why we are educating the public. That we need to be start using some of these chemical-free products and moving away from those chemical products.
And when you say because are you saying that some of the products that people have been using, because there's a hair thing which has been going on
Yeah.
about the bad hair products that people have been putting in the air, and also with the whole incident in Peckham, there's a awakening which is happening of the type of products that people are using, especially black people, on their face, on their skin. Is that there's a awakening as to these things at the same time, and you're teaching people at the same time as to what to
Yes. Yes, because as the thing is, Silburn, we've been doing a lot of damage over the years, far much damage, and we are trying to for currently the market have changed a bit because of what we are doing now. There's a lot more natural products going on, but before there wasn't. Before you were thinking you were doing something good for your body, but you weren't. You were actually damaging. Right now, people were having less chances of getting cancers, less chances of having a better you. Less
yes,
chances. Definitely you can enjoy a much longer sustained life. You're
yes,
looking the best of you. There's abuse having look at this. You're intaking these chemicals, these harmful things, these
mm,
inhibitors into your system, blocking, damaging your intestine every single way you can think. Now, once you are now educated now that you are moving forward from these harmful things. You are
Yeah.
now able to make better choices, informed choices, to be able to create a better you. So no longer you're going to be stuck. You say, well, use antiperspirant, I'm going to use a deodorant. No longer you're going to be choosing which shampoo to use. You know that going for the natural way is the best way to go forward versus going for those harmful chemicals, which could cause lots of disease, unknown
Yes.
problems you don't know. So this is why it's so important we are getting the public aware that you must stop use these harmful things because it's actually causing more damage to your health.
Mm,
You know, in many ways, form is very complicated.
yeah. And you got a big event which is happening very soon, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
December 16th.
Yes. So you got a promoter already, which is promoting it. Um,
yes.
Herbert, you tell us about your event on the 16th of December.
It's late in
Leighton,
the believer. He's not Herbert.
Leighton, yeah.
No, yes, no. We're having this another cultural market. Last year we had our cultural market in the Wheat Gift Center. Now we're having our cultural market at the um, West Crystal
West.
Palace Library, which is very popular as well. So what we are doing is trying to promote other small businesses to help sure that they can um, be supported as well during this event. We know Christmas is coming soon. We have our last minute session. It's a good timing, the 16th, just before the week before the Christmas. If
Mm.
you have not got that stock yet, you can still inquire, still get a stall if you have not done that yet. But there's lots of fun, drink, entertainment, little live shows going on, singing behind the scenes. So definitely keep you entertained, getting the Christmas vibes going before the Christmas comes in. So it's really something we look forward to do regularly each year. So our Christmas market has been going on successful from the last couple of years now. So we're looking forward to keep that going.
So what you have homemade crafts, you got food, book, clothing, natural juice, music, skincare, hair care, and of course you have the stalls are for persons who are collaborating with yourself. Yeah.
Definitely.
Uh,
We've got a few masseuses there. You can get you for a massage in. You've got drinks, different, liqueurs, natural juices as well. Differently customized products. There'll be sales, promotion as well. Even if you like on the show today, we can give you a promo and definitely say that you've watched the Burn Show. You get a 10% discount on all our products. It's lots of discounts be available at the night and at the day through the event.
and Herbert, are you going to do anything for your hair?
No, grass don't grow on busy street,
Oh, I heard that before.
right?
Yes, 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 yes.
But I would definitely drop by and see what you have. But let me ask you, these products have they been signed off by a professional in the medical field? Because you're going in an era where people are looking to be healthy, get healthy, but
Well,
they want to ensure that it is being passed by someone of a professional in the medical field. Have that been done?
our products are all certified. They have been rigorously tested. So they've been tested in the lab and to make sure that they're approved. So that means that what we are putting out is of a good standard. So they've passed the Comatology Assessment Act. So they've passed that standard. So they've actually at that great. Um, with other professionals because of that standard and based on what other clients have said and what our researchers said, this is the way forward. So definitely, I'm not a professional doctor, but based on what we've researched and what other doctors have said, this is the way forward. So we haven't got any doctor per se supporting this, but we have been all certified and passed from the commatologists.
Okay.
Okay. What you're saying, one can make health claims to a certain
Yes,
extent.
yes,
Fantastic,
okay.
fantastic. Well, that's awesome. One of the things I was asking was, if for persons to be a part of it, they have to fall in line with a certain um, category or up to a certain standard. Somebody can't just come on and say, "Yeah, man, we'll come in at the place and just pay me money or something like that." And have a stall. They have to fit a certain category or criteria.
Oh, for the event, to come in, entry is free. The event is
No,
free.
no, not even not the
Mm.
entry,
The
because
vendors.
I noticed you said
Oh, for the vendors. Oh,
yeah,
there's a fee.
vendors,
There's a small fee for if vendors. It's £50 if they want to have a stall.
yeah.
That's
But
basically,
but
and
I
we
think
do the
yeah,
assessment from
I
there.
think the point I was saying is that the persons who are vendors, they have to fall within a certain category still, vetted within your sort of standard, because you can't just take somebody
Definitely,
there.
definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. All we have a contract we send out, and we've definitely have to have their certificates, insurance, liability, all these
Okay.
things are taken to place before we. If they haven't got those things, we're not going to take them on for the night, really. So definitely, they have to be having everything up to board. If they are food, you have their health and safety certificate. All these standards have to be submitted before. And once money's been exchanged, we know that definitely, and everything is be checked. They have these people on board. So
And,
not
and
definitely.
yeah. And what's the next move for you guys? Because I know you go to different and branching out. What's the next move? There was a guy there's a guy I was listening to. He said, "What's your move in 5 years time?" And the guy said, "He said, do you know what you're gonna do in next 1 minute? How can I tell you what I'm gonna do in 5 years time? Are you gonna walk out the door?" But what's the big plan? What's the big dream? I mean, for Lakers.
Well, our big plan is to continue making quality products. That's for one, and definitely to even to branch into even to definitely start going into leading stores. So one of these high streets. That is probably our next step in 5 years time. I think that is it. We're in some small shops at the moment, which distribute our stuff. But definitely, we can definitely in there, maybe in the big supermarkets, leading chains. In the next 5 years. That's probably where we see ourselves. But definitely, we are continuing expanding our product. We have um, different. To be frank, Lee College is a family thing. We definitely have other branches to it, which we are expanding into. We have other supporters which we've worked with. So like All Things Jamaica, the Missing
Yeah.
Link Tuition, Use YCL. These are quite
Mm.
part of our team. So definitely we have expanded into other facets as well.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, for you to contact Lake Colors, there's an email, sales@lakecolor.shop. Telephone numbers 07807 07809 706 495, 07949 08922, and your Instagram as well is Lake Colors. And what you're saying is that if persons who are watching and they want to get what's the offer you're giving to persons who are watching on the show?
We
Or
definitely we give them a 10% discount and from all traders. All traders will honor that. So
yeah,
that's so that you watch the Silver Show,
yeah,
you will have 10% on us. So we definitely get that out.
yeah. Just say Silburn TV, and
That's it.
you can watch it. I'll let that run up on the screen. But if I can just showcase again, there you are. There are some of the great products there as well. What is that product there with the beard? I see a beard there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our one of our latest one, the braid bomb. That's our braid bomb.
Okay, okay, okay.
That would
And
not apply to you, Silburn.
what's that?
That wouldn't work for you.
Yeah. And patchouli, geranium. What are those?
Those are our body oil. So instead of like the body butters on the left, you can use our body oil. For some people, they instead of using a perfume, the body is have a nice fragrance. So you will use that instead of using a perfume because sometimes perfume you're allergic to certain scents. But this is a nice way of having a nice moisturizer for your skin without the irritation of a perfume.
Yes, yes.
It's a
And
nice massaging oil as well. You can use that as a massaging oil.
okay, okay. And I think that what oh that I mentioned that already. And that's your sort of showcase there
Yeah, that's
uh,
the rest. Yeah. So we have
as
some
well.
teas. We have some.
And there's you got scented oils. I scented candles. Is that candles?
Well, the candles are decorations at the moment. No, these candles are decorations.
Well,
Um,
Herbert would like candles, though, you know.
you can get a candle for each purchase, no problem.
Yeah, a candle for each purpose. and
Silver, you keep put yourself in a corner, you know.
and can I just ask again? Okay, you have where people can get hold of you is the online. Let me see. Was there a web? Is there a website? Is there a website? Lakelas? We didn't put that up, did we?
You
No,
ready? Oh, no, let me
there's
see.
no website there.
Okay, says www.leecarter.co.uk. Says www.leicala.co.uk.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna put this here. For 10, I'm gonna type something here. 10% discount. All you got to do is, I'm just typing it, is just to say Silburn TV. Yep,
That's it. Silver TV, 10%.
10% as well. That's a yeah, Silburn TV. Boom. Let me just do that there. There we are. 10% discount just to say Silburn TV. All right. And 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 I think that's it. Anyhow, still. Any more question, Herbert?
No, that's it. I'll be passing by to check you.
Mm.
Well, looking forward to see you then, Herbert. And definitely bring your friend, bring your family, bring a friend, bring a friend.
You're
Tell
from
them
St. Elizabeth, yeah?
my family is from St. Elizabeth. Yeah.
Oh. And I know I met one of your think maybe your uncle or something. Lazarus.
Yes. Well, but there are two registers. I think the other register is the other one.
Lazarus?
Yes, there's
Yeah,
another
from
register.
from over party side.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Leighton, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
Have a good night, and say hi to your wife Caroline,
I
and
will.
and all the best. And thank you for your support as usual. And this is my way of supporting you as well, because a couple of years ago we did some project with your during is it the COVID period?
Yes,
What about
yes,
the
yes.
computers? Yeah, the
We
computers there.
the tablets, we
So,
promoted the tablets. You know, over
yeah,
50 tablets, I thought. Yeah.
yeah, with the school as
Good,
well.
good.
Herbert, that was during the COVID period there,
Okay.
where we had lots of students in Jamaica needed help with
Yeah. Yeah.
online, and because they had to be at home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
That was a
mm-hmm.
challenging period, wasn't it, Leighton?
It
It was
was.
a
It
challenging
is, it
time.
is.
Yeah, yeah. All right, then, boss. Respect. Thank you very much,
Thank
Leighton.
you.
And
Respect my brother.
yeah,
Yeah, man, no worries. Keep up the good show. Really
yeah,
topical issues. Really pushing the narrative, really challenging the thought process is what you do. Really
yes, yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Got to sort of get in there and just dig deep into it as well. Bring out certain information and try not to just be what do you call it, a soundbite or viral, but to sort of maintaining the push, education, 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 as well as you're an educator.
These are the wicked issues, Silver. You have to pick all those wicked issues out.
Yes,
People
yes,
don't want to talk about it, but you have to start talking about it for start to
yes,
change.
yes, yes, yes. All right, well, God bless you, man. Take care of
Thank
yourself.
you. And
All right,
thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'll come and check you.
See
Yeah,
you soon.
See you.
respect. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, sir. Cheers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining. Herbert, any last word in the wrapping up?
No, it's, we just we just need to change our mindset how we view the people that we employ to govern us.
Yes,
Because I think it's one of the profession that people go in, that people enter into it poor, and when
yes,
they leave they're rich,
yes. And
and
and and
while we're still poor.
and also it's very important for people to somehow recognize that they need to be involved, because
Yes,
if they don't get involved, they're going to wonder what's happening after many years from now,
of course, of
and
course.
a result of that, it is simply because you know You
Of
know,
course.
we allow it. We allow it to take place. We allow that.
Mhm.
You know. So that's it. Well, Michelle and guys, want to thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. Have a good evening, everyone. She said CDC would never sign off the natural product because that would amp their agenda.
Of course.
Jamaicans vote for party and colors, not country. uh, you know. And thanks for Muriel for coming on tonight. Thanks for those on Instagram, TikTok, and those on YouTube and those on Facebook. And see you Saturday night. I'll be back with what's the show called? Talk and Sip. No, not Talk and Sip. It's Late
The
One
late one.
Skills. That's not this week, not tomorrow, but it's gonna be next week, Saturday. But anything can happen. Just be on the lookout and look out for when something pop up. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Simple and TV, and then we take it from there because anything can go on. You know,
Anything.
anything can go on. All right, then, boss.
All right.
Respect.
All right. No flow.
Let's go.